episode of Evil Content Cop, I gotta go back to music-related content. I'm so sorry for deviating from the music content on this channel, but we're gonna be doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, okay? So thank you for being here, and today we're going back to a very common lolcow on this channel to do this kind of content about him, because I haven't done an evil content cop on Tim Armstrong of the band Rancid yet, so here we are to do that, to charge Tim Armstrong with 5 offenses, 4 misdemeanors and 1 felony.
I just was up in Berkeley, man. You know, I go back and forth to Berkeley and LA.
My name is Dan Frampton, all one word, the O's a 0, but you can call me Evil iDubbbz. Let's make an episode. Okay, so the first thing that you're gonna notice when you listen to Tim Armstrong and any of his projects is gonna be his voice, okay? And at first, it was kind of cute. At first, it was kind of charming. It was something that you'd go back to and be like, that's kind of cute the way that you do that thing with your voice, Tim Armstrong. But over time, it starts to wear down on your soul, and then you start to regard it more of a cartoon character voice. You hear it more like a Cookie Monster type voice than a Tom Waits type voice, if that makes sense. Now I know a lot of people hear Tom Waits and think of a cartoon character type thing, but I hear Tom Waits as an artistic version of that sort of thing. But Tim Armstrong, over all these years, that sound is just starting to wear a little bit thin with me, okay? Now the second thing I want to mention here about Tim Armstrong is a misdemeanor, not that big of a deal, but he always needs to let us know where he's from and who he is, alright?
And I just was up in Berkeley, man. You know, I go back and forth to Berkeley and LA.
He's always like, I was here and I did this thing, and I did this thing over here. Or well, it's more like this, I was over here and I just did it. I don't know why he's trying to sound like a British Cockney guy all of a sudden, but you know, that's just his thing. I don't need to know what street you are on. I don't need to know the name of the building you went to. I don't need to know the ethnicity of the girls that you were with when you went into that place, okay? These kinds of things are storytelling crutches, okay? You're describing things, descriptors. Don't describe things, Tim Armstrong. Tell the story. Bring me into the emotion. Bring me into the place. Bring me into the setting. Tell me the story cinematically. You don't just need to describe all these things. Skinny white man here, standing in a room. I got glasses on, and this hat is also here. You know, it's not really artistic at the end of the day. There's deeper context, subtext even, that you could be diving into. But no, let me know where you're from. You're probably gonna let me know that you're from where? California? Sometimes you celebrate California. Sometimes you want California to be burning. It's hard to tell with you, but the one thing I can tell is that it's happening in California. Charge number 3 is gonna be the only felony offense on this list, okay? Now I made an entire video about this section, so I'm not gonna get too deep and too into the weeds here, but what you can do if you want more on the Brody doll situation is you can go watch my other video on that. But essentially, okay, you got the 90s, the 1990s, the decade. You familiar? Anyway, there's this band called Rancid. Tim Armstrong is the front person in this band. They're playing in Australia. Took the 50 bus out of downtown Campbell, blah, 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 it was only 15. That kind of thing. Only 15, you say? Well, that's kind of interesting because there was a 15-year-old girl there in a band, and she was like, my name is Brody Doll, I'm here singing a song, my name is Brody Doll, and I'm only 15. And Tim Armstrong was like, I think I'm falling in love with this 15-year-old girl. You're standing over there, you're only 15, I think that's pretty cute. I'm like, oh no, what's going on here? So then, Tim Armstrong waits it out a little bit, waits until she's 18, flies her out to America, bing bang boom, hitches his saddle to her, and then there you go. Bob's your uncle. You got some grooming allegations going down here on the internet. Now, I'm not gonna be going through this whole story again. It's a dirty one. It's a messy one. It's all over the place. And if you want my opinion on it, go watch my whole other video about that. It's like one of the most viewed videos here on this channel. I think you're gonna enjoy it. Tim Armstrong does a lot of things in a lot of different ways. He's a creative type, okay? Now he's always gonna wanna like do original content for whatever reason because he's just so artistic, okay? So he's gonna get it in his craw every now and then that he's a filmmaker. He's gonna go out there and make a short film. He's going to express himself artistically, visually, okay? And every time he does this, I'm thinking, you shouldn't do that, Tim Armstrong. This is no good. You're a bad director. So number 4 on this list is you're a bad director, Tim Armstrong. Stick to what you know, your wheelhouse. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, your wheelhouse kind of stinks too, and you shouldn't even stick to that anymore either. So you don't have a wheelhouse to go running back to. I think it's time to pack it up, pack it in. And that's gonna bring us to number 5, and now that I'm thinking about it, this is also a felony. This would be the most tragic, most egregious case on this list if it wasn't for the whole Brody Dahl situation, but it's right up there, okay? And that is the last 24 years of Rancid albums. Every single one of them since Rancid 2000 has stunk to varying degrees. I can't even think of all the names of these records off the top of my head. Honor amongst, I don't know, something about honor. Honor this, honor that, blah, 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 blah. Something about dominoes falling. The dominoes the dominoes will fall. Something like that. Indestructible? Yeah, Indestructible was another one. Oh, god damn, what was their most recent one? When Tomorrow Calls. Or something like that. I don't know, man. They all suck. I listen to them all, and I want to like them a whole lot because Rancid means so much to me. Those first 5 records, I can't stress to you how much I love those first 5 records. I could tout these 5 records from the rooftops day in and day out until the last day I draw breath. That is how great these records are, and that is how much this band means to me. That's why it breaks my heart that I have to make videos like this where I tell you the last 24 years of this band has not been worth a damn. Sure, you might get a song here, you might get a bop there, kind of thing going on with this band. But that's not what their first 5 records were. Their first 5 records had energy. Their first 5 records were on fire. Their first 5 records had charisma and personality. But once they defined their charisma and personality, they decided to just phone it in every single time. Those first 5 records all sounded different. All were flavored differently. All had different textures going on in them. But later on, they were just basically Rancid-coated Rancid at this point. And the reason why I seem so animated right now is because I'm passionate, okay? I care about this band, and I know that they could be good, they could be so much better. That's it, that's all for now. You're in the end gang. You made it all the way to the end of the video, and that means I have a particular amount of appreciation for you, and that is a whole lot more appreciation than all those suckers that clicked off this video earlier on. They were like, hey, I'm interested in this. I'm gonna watch it for like 3 minutes and click off. I hate those viewers. Those viewers are the worst. They're not here right now, so they don't even know how little I respect 3-minute viewers. Get out of here with your 3 minutes. It's all about the end gang. And if you're in the end gang, that means you're a real one, and that means you get my authentic, genuine respect. And that means I give you the right to ridicule everybody that isn't in the end gang. It is the only gang that matters.